Hey, Greg Clement with Realeflow, and I started investing in real estate when I was 30 years old. I sort of had to. At least that's what I thought. After I graduated from college, I jumped right into the financial planning field. I started working with different types of people with different incomes and net worths. Some people were living paycheck to paycheck, and these people were working hard trying to save enough money to hopefully one day retire. And others had a ton of assets and made a ton of money, and it was actually pretty weird because here I was, a 23-year-old kid, and I was able to see behind the curtain of so many financial lives of so many different people. I remember meeting this 35-year-old physician. This guy drove a Ferrari. He made about $500,000 a year, but he couldn't afford to save even $200 a month. His car payment alone was $1,700 a month, and he wasn't saving anything. He had no assets whatsoever. He was essentially broke. Then just a few short months after that, I walk into this office, I meet a guy named Tony. Great guy and ridiculously wealthy. The first time I met him, I actually walked out of his office like, what the heck was that? What just happened? Here was a guy who couldn't communicate well. He was definitely below average intelligence, but when we got to the income and assets section of our interview, he kept going on and on and on. He was worth millions of dollars and had most of it in real estate. He had this joke that he didn't even pass a chair test. And when I asked him one time what that meant exactly, he said, well, Greg, it's pretty simple. That's when you're not even as smart as the chair you're sitting in. And I never really laughed at that joke because in my head, I'm thinking, who's really the smart one here? Here was a high school dropout with a below average IQ, but an above average self-belief. And so over the next 5 to 6 years, as I met more and more very successful people, self-employed or entrepreneurs, high-income professionals, one common denominator they all shared was they had significant assets in real estate. And many built their fortunes, their net worth, through different types of property investing. So what I want to do in this video is explain two of the most exciting concepts about growing a real estate investing business, and more importantly, how to apply them. And this revolves around what I call the shift. So what the heck is the shift? Okay, most real estate investors share some very similar thoughts. I'd say about 95% or more of them. When they think of themselves, they think, I'm a real estate investor. I'm going to start doing some deals and hopefully the business gets a little easier and I have some success. I might even meet somebody at a party and I'm going to tell them, hey, I'm a real estate investor. I just bought this house and actually made $50,000 when I flipped it. And I'm hopefully going to do another one and another and another. So I want you to stop right there because that is small time. That's not going to give you success long term with that mindset. The first shift that you need to make is from being a real estate investor to being someone who markets a real estate investing business. That's how you need to view yourself. You are an entrepreneur. You're not trying real estate, you're doing it. And if you don't think this small shift in the way you think about yourself is important, let me take you back just a few years. So this is me at 5 years old. So I want you to think back when you were just a little kid. And imagine your mom telling you that you need to have an operation done on, let's say, your private area. That was me. I had a hernia, and it was close to breaking wide open. So I remember sitting in a hospital bed right before the surgery. I was scared as could be, and I remember my mom telling me not to worry. She was trying to reassure me that she was going to be there when I woke up, and really everything was going to be all right. So I have the surgery, and then I wake up a little too early. They gave me the wrong level of anesthesia. So I was in a crowded hallway right after the operation, and bam, I froze. No mom, just a bunch of strangers walking around me, and I had this type of panic attack. It was extremely painful and extremely traumatic. That was the day that my parents say my speech changed. I changed. And I've lived with a speech impediment ever since. So you know how some people have good hair days and bad hair days? Well, I have good speech days and bad speech days. And today seems to be a pretty good speech day. But when I was a kid, this really affected me hugely. It prevented me from doing just normal things with friends, even from making a friend. As a little kid, I'd walk around the playground by myself. It was rough for sure. I really never wanted to put myself in a position to fail because I failed multiple times a day, just naturally, every time I tried to talk. This was my mindset. It was my perspective. I was afraid to fail. Fear, I can honestly say, ruled every decision in my life. So how exactly did this affect me? Well, here's just one example. By the time I got to high school in 9th grade, I wanted to be in the NFL. As a matter of fact, I knew I'd be in the NFL. So when freshman football came around, the first day of practice, I intelligently made the decision not to go. Why? Well, because I was a little bit afraid. I really didn't know anybody, and so I kept delaying these important decisions. I'd rationalize with myself. I said to myself, I'll go tomorrow. And then after I missed the first week, I said, well, to really play in the NFL, I really don't need to play as a freshman in high school. I could probably just play the rest of my high school career. So I didn't play as a freshman, as a sophomore, or a junior. So going into my senior year, I was like, oh crap, I really actually have to play now. So I did. And then in a twist of fate, I get another hernia right before week 1. I was done. So I had to take a year off and actually try to save some money to pay for college. During that year, I contacted the coaches at all the Division I schools around me and asked them if I could try out. There was only one coach who didn't ask for my high school tape, Jerry Faust at the University of Akron. So I went there. And I did end up playing for 1 year, but then I quickly realized I probably should have played in high school, and I wasn't going to make it in the NFL. But for me, something more important happened to me at college. I gave a speech in speech class. Now, in high school, I was always able to talk to the teacher into letting me give her the speeches in private because I just knew I wouldn't be able to get up in front of the class and deliver the speech. So they say the greatest fear after death is public speaking. Well, imagine if you have a speech impediment. Fear can't really even describe it. So here I am in college, a freshman, an adult, with a professor that refused to let me give my speech in private. So I took this head on as a challenge. I prepared for weeks and had the whole thing written out on 3x5 index cards, and my speech was supposed to be 3 minutes long. And when my day came, I walked up to the podium and nothing. My literal worst fear was realized. I couldn't get a word out. Probably 30 to 40 kids in class, and when I looked down, I saw the sorrow in their eyes. They literally couldn't believe what I was doing. My throat locked up. I'm sure my face was all contorted. And I may have gotten through 3 total sentences when I felt a hand on the shoulder, and it was my professor walking me back to my seat. Probably about 10 to 15 minutes, but it felt like hours. It really felt like an out-of-body experience because I still remember to this day so many vivid details. One girl had a red sweatshirt on, and her eyes almost rolled in the back of her head when I looked out. And really, the rest of the class, no one wanted to make eye contact with me as we're walking out of the class. I felt a ton of emotions, but mostly I felt like a failure. Up until that point in my life, I did everything perfectly designed to not let me fail at things because I didn't want to feel that pain. Then I hopped in the car to drive home, feeling like crap, miserable, feeling like a complete failure, and then a song comes on the radio. It was like God shot a bolt of lightning through the window. You Can't Keep a Good Man Down started to play. And it took just a minute, but I literally quit feeling sorry for myself. I had one thought. Is that it? Is that what was holding me back all these years? That was my biggest fear. Well, that happened, and I'm still here. I still have a family that loves me, a girlfriend who loves me. Everything was good in my life, just kept flashing before my eyes, and something for me just clicked. I didn't quite realize it at the time, but that was the exact moment I quit letting fear make all my decisions. From that moment on, I realized that fear is simply an opportunity to grow. And when we take action, when we control our fear instead of letting our fear control us, that's when the magic happens. That was a mindset shift that had to happen to me. And if it didn't, there is no way, shape, or form I was going to be successful at anything, much less real estate investing. So I want to make sure you're with me. The first shift you need to make is you got to believe that you can do this business. You got to believe that you can do any business. You got to have that self-belief and that confidence that you can make this happen. Then, once you have that gift, you can transfer it to actually applying it to business. And the first shift that you have to make as a real estate investor is, instead of looking at yourself as an investor, you need to look at yourself as someone who markets a real estate investing business. There's a clear distinction there, so I need you to be with me 100% on that one. I also need you to be with me 100% on one more point. And that point is that the internet and tools on the internet are the best place to market a real estate investing business. I don't think we should waste 10 minutes in this training debating that. You're either with me on that one or you're almost 100% there. As long as you believe the internet is the best place or one of the best places to market a real estate investing business, then these next two ideas you're going to love. Okay, so the first idea is to shift most of your marketing to automated marketing, especially all of your follow-up marketing. So let me give you just one example. So let's say you meet a real estate agent and they give you their business card. In that small moment in time, you're both at what I call top of mind. You to them and them to you. What I mean is, if they run across a deal later that afternoon that seems like a good investment opportunity, then they're probably going to call you up and tell you about it. Well, what happens in 4 months when they run across a similar deal and you are no longer top of mind? Nothing. Nothing's going to happen. Unless you've been using tools to automate the weekly and the monthly follow-up with this agent. For example, we have a built-in email autoresponder inside of Realeflow designed for real estate agents. You simply enter their contact info one time, you click the button that says Add Autoresponder, and it's going to send 19 emails over 6 months, and this thing produces amazing results. All these emails are already written for you, and when the agent receives them, they think you just woke up that morning and popped them a message. You're staying top of mind, and that's the key. This is one idea on how to automate your marketing. We have hundreds of users who've emailed us results, like Keith Fiscum from Raleigh, North Carolina, and he says, I'm getting over 10 agents calling me a month for my Realeflow autoresponder campaign to real estate agents. You really need to be automating all your marketing to sellers, to buyers, to contractors, agents, attorneys, even other investors. And using tools like Realeflow to do that makes it super easy. Milani Gates-Hawk says she got a call yesterday from a realtor who is receiving our Realtor Autoresponder Drip campaign from Realeflow. He called with a pocket listing of the house right next to the one he just rehabbed. He's too tired, so he's handing it off to us since we are obviously organized enough to have our own effective drip campaign. He admitted he wasn't advanced enough to continue rehabbing if he actually wants to make a profit, so he also asked us if he could invest with us. Woohoo! Pocket listing and a private lender, all thanks to my Realeflow autoresponder. Super cool stuff there, and the best part is you set this stuff up once, it just keeps working for as long as you want. Now please, don't underestimate the power of automated marketing. This first idea is a very basic one, but it works extremely well. So well that we're actually doing a web class in training that I really would like you to be on, where we're going to go through this idea and more in a lot more detail. You can register for that shortly, and we expect it to fill out pretty quickly. Now, this second idea is a lot more advanced, but really just as simple. Now, I'm going to explain the concept here, but show you how we do this on the actual training webinar. The idea is to shift your paid marketing to Facebook and use what we call custom audiences to get your perfect prospects to learn about your company and for them to reach out to you. Over the last 5 to 8 years, everyone, especially homeowners, have set accounts up on Facebook. And if you remember, Facebook is quietly asking us for more and more information about ourselves, really in the spirit of protecting our accounts. Now, they've asked us for our email address, phone number, sex, city, state, age, interests, and like a million other little things. Now, they've done this to build up the world's most valuable database that's quickly overtaking Google as the #1 paid marketing channel for many companies. We've shifted virtually all of our marketing to Facebook over the past year. Now, the idea is this. If you have access to a list of motivated sellers or prospects in your area, and we actually give you access to these lists inside of Realeflow, but I know there's also a bunch of other lead sources out there. So if you have access to a list like this of, let's say, people in pre-foreclosure, okay, who live in your area. So you have 1,000 names and addresses of people in your area who are getting foreclosed on. You can format that list, upload it to Facebook, You create an ad, and then Facebook will show your We Buy Houses ad only to people on that list, not to the million other people who live in your area. Now, you can do this for sellers, for buyers, for renters, cash buyers, whatever, even private lenders. And you're only going to pay when they click on your ad. Now, that's amazing. You're paying only when people who are super qualified and you want to see your stuff actually do see your stuff. Now, here's a couple of details. Facebook is not going to match 100% of the people on any list, but we'll show you how to format the custom audience so it matches as many people as possible, so you're casting a wide net. Facebook is also a fraction of what Google will charge per click, so you definitely want to use Facebook, okay? In some areas, they're literally 10% of what Google would charge. And I want you to think of this as a digital bandit sign, but one that you can't get in trouble or fine for putting up. You know how you put the signs up in your area and then the police or the homeowners associations will call you up? Well, the great part about digital bandit signs is you place these signs on the internet, essentially where people you want to see your signs are. They see them, they call, they visit your website, and now you have a lead. Now you have a prospect, a person to talk to about buying or selling a house. So you should be on this web class if you want to grow your business as quickly and efficiently as possible in the next 12 months. I believe that technology has finally caught up to people, and we're super excited to show you what we've developed to help you achieve your goals this next year. We're going to pull back the curtain and show you what to do, but more importantly, how to do it. So simply click the button on this page to see when we're holding this training and make sure you're registered. I hope you understand how important it really is at this point in time to make a shift in your business and in your marketing to succeed in the future. We want to be with you every step of the way. So we're super excited to be able to show you and teach you exactly what we're doing, and that's why we've developed this free web class. Anytime I've made a shift in income or the quality of my life, I first made a shift in my thinking and then in my business. So let's make that happen for you. So make sure you register for this right now, and I'll see you on the call.